We often hear stories of women leading men astray: Eve, Delilah, Jezebel, warnings etched into our memory, but that's only a sliver of the truth. Beyond these cautionary tales, Scripture reveals women whose faith, wisdom, and courage built up men and shaped destinies. These women stood as partners, not temptresses, anchors in storms, voices of reason, and guides toward God's purpose. They didn't tear down, they built up. Let's journey through the Bible and discover the women who helped men rise. These are the women who built men. In Israel's darkest days, when hope seemed lost and the people were oppressed by their enemies, Deborah, a prophetess and judge, became the nation's guiding light. She was a woman of wisdom, courage, and unwavering faith, chosen by God to lead when others faltered. God spoke to Deborah and commanded her to summon Barak, a respected warrior, to lead Israel's army against the mighty forces of Sisera, whose iron chariots had struck fear into the hearts of the Israelites for years. Barak hesitated, uncertain and afraid of facing such a powerful enemy. He insisted that Deborah go with him into battle. He needed her faith, her presence, and her confidence in God to strengthen his own resolve. Deborah agreed to go, but she prophesied that the victory would come, yet the honor of defeating Sisera would ultimately go to a woman, not to Barak himself. On the battlefield, Deborah's voice rang out above the chaos and fear. "Go! The Lord has given Sisera into your hands!" Her words were a rallying cry, cutting through doubt and inspiring courage in every heart. Her courage ignited Barak's action, and together they led the Israelites into a miraculous victory, overcoming impossible odds through faith and unity. Deborah's leadership didn't diminish Barak. Instead, it empowered him to fulfill his calling. She showed that true leadership uplifts others and brings out their best. She fortified his calling, demonstrating how a woman's faith and a man's action can work in perfect harmony, creating a partnership that changes destinies. Deborah built a leader and delivered a nation. Her wisdom and courage inspired the people to rise above their fears and trust in God's promises. She was not just a judge, but a builder of destiny, shaping the future of her people through her faith and vision. Her story is a testament to the power of godly partnership, showing that when men and women work together, guided by faith, they can overcome any challenge. Deborah's faith changed the course of history, leaving a legacy of hope, courage, and the enduring strength found in unity and trust in God. Ruth's story begins in the shadow of loss as she faces the heartbreak of widowhood in a foreign land. Yet from this sorrow, a remarkable journey of loyalty and courage unfolds. When Naomi, her mother-in-law, urged her to return to her own people and start anew, Ruth refused to abandon her. With unwavering devotion she declared, "Where you go, I will go, where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Ruth's pledge was more than words, it was a promise of steadfast companionship and faith. Arriving in Bethlehem, Ruth worked tirelessly in the fields, gathering leftover grain to provide for herself and Naomi. Her humility and determination did not go unnoticed. She caught the eye of Boaz, a respected man of honor and kindness. Boaz recognized Ruth's faith and integrity, offering her protection and blessing, ensuring she was safe and cared for among the harvesters. Guided by Naomi's wisdom, Ruth bravely approached Boaz at the threshing floor, asking him to redeem her family and continue their lineage, a bold act of hope and trust. Moved by her virtue and courage, Boaz agreed. He married Ruth, restoring Naomi's family and securing their future. Their union was celebrated with joy and gratitude. Ruth, once a foreigner and outsider, became the great-grandmother of King David, placing her at the very heart of Israel's royal lineage. Her loyalty and faithfulness built not just a family, but a legacy that would echo through generations, shaping the destiny of a nation. Through Ruth's courage and devotion, the line of Christ was established, connecting her story to the greatest story ever told. Ruth did not merely survive tragedy, she transformed it, becoming a vital part of salvation's unfolding story. Her devotion turned loss into legacy, and her faithfulness brought hope where there was once only despair. Ruth's faith and love built the lineage of kings, linking her to a royal destiny she could never have imagined. Ruth's story is a timeless testament to redemption through steadfast love, a reminder that even the humblest beginnings can lead to greatness. Esther, a Jewish orphan turned Persian queen, faced a decree of genocide against her people. When urged by Mordecai to intervene, Esther hesitated. Approaching the king uninvited meant death. Mordecai's words echoed, Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther chose courage over comfort, calling her people to fast and pray. If I perish, she declared, risking everything to plead for her people. Her wisdom exposed Haman's plot, saving the Jews from destruction. Esther's bravery turned a day of doom into deliverance. She used her influence for purpose, not privilege. Esther built a legacy of courage. Her faith saved a nation. Esther's story proves one woman's courage can change history. Abigail, wife of the foolish Nabal, faced disaster when David, enraged by Nabal's insult, set out for vengeance. Acting swiftly, Abigail intercepted David with gifts and humility. She appealed not to his anger, but to his destiny, urging him to avoid needless bloodshed. Her wisdom calmed David's fury and saved her household. David praised God for Abigail's intervention, recognizing she kept him from sin. Abigail's insight protected a future king's integrity. She built peace where there could have been ruin. Abigail's wisdom turned wrath into restraint. Her courage preserved a king's conscience. Abigail's story shows the power of wise intervention. She built a legacy of peace. Hannah, barren and tormented, poured out her anguish to God in prayer. She vowed, "If you give me a son, I'll give him to the Lord all his life." God answered. Hannah bore Samuel. True to her word, she dedicated Samuel to God's service. Her faith and sacrifice gave Israel one of its greatest prophets. Hannah's prayer built more than her family, it built a leader for a nation. Her surrender shaped Israel's destiny. Hannah's faith turned sorrow into legacy. She built a prophet through prayer. Hannah's story is a testament to the power of surrender. Her faith changed a nation. Hannah's legacy endures through Samuel. In the quiet town of Nazareth, Mary's ordinary life was forever changed when the angel Gabriel appeared with a message that would alter history. She was chosen to bear the Son of God, the long-awaited Messiah. This divine encounter was both awe-inspiring and overwhelming, as Mary was just a young woman living a humble life, never expecting to be part of such a miraculous plan. Though the angel's words defied all logic and placed her reputation and future at risk, Mary responded with remarkable courage and humility, saying, "I am the Lord's servant, may your word to me be fulfilled." Her willingness to trust God, even when she could not see the outcome, set her apart. Her unwavering faith opened the door for the incarnation, making it possible for God to enter the world as a human child. Mary nurtured Jesus from his first breath, supported his ministry as he grew, and stood by him through every trial, even remaining at the foot of the cross during his darkest hour. Her quiet strength, steadfast love, and unwavering belief built the foundation for Christ's earthly life and mission. With a simple yes, Mary changed the course of history and became a model of faith for generations. She offered herself completely, becoming the vessel for God's greatest miracle, the birth of Jesus. Mary's faith made the impossible possible, showing that trust in God can overcome any obstacle. Through her daily acts of love and care, she built the Messiah's earthly home, shaping his early years with wisdom and compassion. Mary's story is one of humble obedience, quiet strength, and deep devotion, a life lived in service to God's purpose. Her belief and trust in God's promise shaped the story of salvation for all humanity. Mary's legacy is faith in action, inspiring us to believe that with God, even the most impossible dreams can come true. The Shunammite woman, though unnamed, saw God's presence in the prophet Elisha. She built a room for him, offering rest and support without seeking reward. Elisha, moved by her generosity, promised her a son, her deepest longing fulfilled. When tragedy struck and her son died, her faith did not falter. She sought Elisha, and through God's power, her son was restored to life. Her hospitality created space for miracles. The room she built became a place of resurrection. The Shunammite woman's faith turned generosity into legacy. She built a family by making room for God. Her story shows the power of selfless giving. She built hope through hospitality. Rahab, a prostitute in Jericho, risked everything to hide Israelite spies. She chose faith over fear, declaring, "The Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below." Rahab's courage saved her family when Jericho fell. Her faith built a bridge from destruction to deliverance. Rahab became the mother of Boaz, entering the lineage of King David and Jesus. Her story proves God uses unlikely people for great purposes. Rahab's faith turned shame into salvation. she built a legacy from the rubble of Jericho. Rahab's courage changed her destiny. Her story is one of redemption through bold faith. Rahab built a future for generations. Priscilla and her husband Aquila were pillars of the early church, hosting believers and partnering with Paul. When Apollos, a gifted but incomplete preacher, arrived, Priscilla and Aquila invited him home. Priscilla, likely the primary teacher, explained God's way more fully. Their wisdom transformed Apollos into a powerful advocate for Christ. Priscilla didn't seek the spotlight, she empowered others behind the scenes. Her teaching built up the church's future leaders. Priscilla's story shows the impact of mentorship. She built a preacher by sharing truth. Priscilla's influence shaped the early church. The early church thrived through the faith and service of women like Phoebe and Lydia. Phoebe, a deacon and benefactor, delivered Paul's letter to the Romans, trusted with his most important message. Lydia, a businesswoman, opened her home as the first church in Europe, supporting Paul's ministry. These women, and many others, were pillars, hosting, funding, and nurturing the church. They built the foundations of Christian community. Their influence was essential, not secondary. The early church was built on the faithfulness of women as much as men. Their service made the gospel flourish. These women built the church from the ground up. These stories are more than history, they reveal a spiritual truth. The Bible honors women who uplift men to walk in destiny. Deborah, Ruth, Esther, Abigail, Hannah, Mary, Priscilla, and more. A woman's influence can raise up kings, prophets, and leaders. This is not passive power, but active, wise, and creative. Men, honor and listen to righteous women. Women, know your influence shapes destinies. When men and women build each other up, God's kingdom advances. The legacy of these women endures, because they built more than men. They built the future.